Hey everybody, it's Matt. Taking a look today at the Thinkware U3000 dual channel dash cam, now available at Best Buy. And I've been looking forward to this one for a long time because it comes with some features that are upgraded, maybe haven't previously been seen. Obviously, you're going to get things like night vision, your safety camera alerts. There's some time-lapse recording. Thinkware's ADAS system is also included here. Integrated thermal protection. So what that means is, well, we're coming up on summer as I'm recording this video, and it's going to get hot in the cars as time goes on. What this does is it'll switch into low power mode if it knows that the Thinkware dash cam is running too hot. But obviously this comes with a ventilation system built in as well, which you'll see once we start unboxing, a built-in GPS and smart parking as well. So let's get to unboxing this. Here's your front camera. This looks like it's a little bit bigger than the X1000, or at least a different shape. Looks like you can't move the lens, but you can shift this up and down, so that should be fine. Yeah, you can see there's a completely different underside and ventilation system here, so it'll try and keep the camera as cool as possible. All right, what else do we have in here? There is our standard plug-in power. Here's the rear camera. Let's take the rear camera out of the bag. So the rear camera it's a pretty unique shape. I haven't seen this before. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to repurpose the cable from my rear cam on the Q1000, though. It's a different USB connection. That's all right. So that's the cable for the rear camera. We've got our hard wiring kit here. Oh, it actually looks like it's an OBD. Oh, nice. Okay. So I've seen a lot of dash cams are switching to simpler plug-in hard wiring kits. This one looks like it plugs in through the OBD. And so I'm definitely going to try and give this a shot, as my OBD port's actually located inside my car. And as you know from some of my hard wiring perils in the past, with the Toyota Corolla I drive, it was going to be really tough to do hard wiring with those out-of-the-box hard wiring kits. This is our front mount, and yeah, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to repurpose the front mount from my X1000 either. Sorry, my Q1000. We've got some heat blocking film for the mount. Got a CPL filter, so that's really nice. Probably take some footage without the filter, and if we need the filter, we'll try it with the filter as well. But it's really nice that they've included that. We've got some safety and warranty information. Doesn't look like there's an owner's manual inside, but these are pretty straightforward. Got our wire hiding tool along with our wire clips. Looks like the adhesive for the mount as well. And we have a 64 gig memory card. So that's really nice. That should last a couple hours in the vehicle. And the next thing I'm going to do is I guess I'll get this all hooked up and figure out what I can repurpose and what I can't repurpose, and we'll be back. So just in relation where my steering wheel is, you can see that my OBD port right there. And so I'll be looking to plug this in right into the port just like that. And look at that. We're all set to go. It's just confirming that unfortunately I was not able to repurpose my front mount and had to pull it off and install the new mount. Now I've enabled parking mode on this, so you're going to hear some beeping and things if as I try to install this dash cam onto the mount up here, and it might actually do some sort of collision detection as well. We'll have to see, but I'm going to mount this to the top now. Despite the easy looking installation, you're not going to be able to just plug and play and drive off. Download the Thinkware Dashcam Link app for your phone and then flick the Bluetooth button on the dashcam to connect it to your phone. Connecting it is essential and a must because a lot of the special features like ADAS and even common features like loop recording are all defaulted off. So just a couple things to note here. You can download and apply a firmware update right away. I'd recommend doing this because most of all, I felt like this patched the ability to connect your phone to the dash cam kind of whenever you wanted after the initial setup. It was a little bit touch and go for me on the original OS, but the updated firmware took care of that 100%. Your continuous loop recording is frozen to 1-minute increments, but it's turned off at the beginning, as are most of the special features as I mentioned. So in the recording settings in the app, this is toggled in privacy recording. If you select G-Shock only, it'll only record when the G sensors are triggered. If you disable it, it'll keep continuous loop footage to the maximum allowed space on your card. With that 64 gig micro SD you receive, that should be between 2 and 3 hours. I used a 256 gig micro SD card on this, and all you have to do is make sure that the card is completely clear. Just add the firmware patch to it, and then just take it to your dash cam, and your dash cam does the rest. You don't have to worry about any special formatting. I've talked about things like FAT32 partitioning before. You don't have to do any of that. If you do select a privacy setting, it'll delete all of your continuous loop footage basically to that number of minutes after it's recorded. So you can, for example, set it to 4 minutes, and it'll just delete your continuous loop recording every 4 minutes. I actually found this out the hard way during the initial phases of my review when I realized that I had accidentally turned that on and lost, quote unquote, lost a lot of my footage. Anyway, you could also toggle recording sound on and off, and like previous Thinkware dash cams, it'll automatically sync it to the front and back cameras properly. So make sure you initialize that ADAS, turn all your notification settings on. It'll take a couple drives for the dash cam to fully figure out your settings and what's ideal for your driving styles, but it'll be worth it. If you don't do this, it'll seem like it's just at its most sensitive at all times. So every time you go over a speed bump, it's going to trigger the incident notifications, and it's just going to clog up space on your memory card unnecessarily. So the first night I drove around, I saw the amount of light glare I was getting from the windshield and out the back, so I decided to get a car wash and slap the color polarizing filter on. Now, the contours of my Corolla's windshield just seem to catch light reflection and glare a ton more than other vehicles, and no amount of indoor and outdoor cleaning that I've seemed to have done helped that 100%. So I'm going to come back to the night footage and talk about that a little bit more, but let's go to the day, and it's a different story during the day. So let's first start with the 2K QHD recording. It's really clear, really vibrant colors, and so here's a little bit of footage of drives without the color polarizing filter. And here's some footage with the filter applied. So let's switch gears now to the front camera in 4K at 30 frames per second. As you can see, it retains a lot of that vibrant color, and everything is really clear, even in a lower lighting evening situation, thanks to that Sony STARVIS 2 technology on board. The front camera is a wide-angle 152-degree view. The rear is 128 degrees, and it's a little bit of a sloped diagonal view. The rear camera settings remain the same, so regardless of whether you're recording 4K or 2K, it's always going to be that 2K QHD. But again, it's really clear, and honestly, in my opinion, this is probably the best rear camera that I've seen in a dash cam, hands down. When you hardwire your camera, you're also given access to parking incidents and time-lapse footage. What I'm showing you right now is some time-lapse footage that occurs when you shut your vehicle off, and it captures things around you. I'd recommend keeping your settings to a couple meters at best. You can go up to 5 meters, but I think that might be overkill for most city driving. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with too many incidents that are of no use. The recordings that you get here are about 15% the size of live continuous recordings, but that quality is pretty good, as you can see. Just going to speed things up and move you over to the next time lapse. It's pretty impressive for a front and back video that come out at about 50 megs per minute total compared to the over 300 that you get of the live continuous recordings. Okay, let's go back to night recording. So night vision is a lot better here than other Thinkware cameras, again, thanks in part to the benefits of that STARVIS 2 technology. Compared with other Thinkware cameras like the X800 and the Q1000, much clearer, far less grainy in low lighting situations, and much clearer looking roadways. Again, going to preface all that light glare by saying that I cleaned the windshield a couple times inside and out during the review, and it only seemed to help a little bit. I think I'm just going to have to try some of the alternate treatment options I've been seeing online. The extra features, again, will need a little bit of tweaking, won't take long. Having your dash cam calibrated is the best way to go, and all you have to deal with is setting the volume notifications. I would really recommend setting that output volume to probably medium or high, especially if you listen to music in the car or have conversations with your passengers. You can't hear the notifications very well otherwise. Anyway, I'm really impressed with this dash cam overall. Would I recommend this to someone that's looking for a great one? Absolutely. You can't beat the quality of this tandem, and while it's a little pricier than most dash cams, this is one of those times where it's definitely worth it. Something I didn't quite touch on is the footprint of your windshield and where this sits. It's a little bit bulkier shape. It's a little bit more of an awkward shape that I touched on at the beginning, so it hangs down below my rear view mirror compared to some of the other Thinkware dash cams and some of the other dash cams I've reviewed over time. It's a little bit more noticeable. However, with the extra benefits you get, along with the fact that it's not really that obstructive to your driving view, I think it's an easy choice. The camera does tend to run a little bit hot, I will say that. So you might want to wait a few minutes after you've powered off to remove the micro SD card to view your footage, or maybe you just want to view your footage directly through the app. You can also use the Thinkware PC viewer to view any footage. However, Thinkware doesn't support that anymore. And while you can download it from their website, they, like I said, they don't provide any support if it doesn't work. And I'll admit, I tried it a couple times, had a little bit of difficulty getting it to show up and recognize footage. And so I just went through the standard way of just plugging it into an SD card reader, and you can access all the footage that way. Just a couple other things in closing. Make sure you do go download the firmware app for this. The manual is also available on Thinkware's website, and you can also find updated speed camera information in case that's legal in your area and you can use it. So this again is the Thinkware U3000 dual channel dash cam. It is available as just a standalone with the front, or you can buy this whole package here. It's now available at Best Buy and online at bestbuy.ca. Thanks for watching this review. My name is Matt. Please subscribe to this channel for more dash cam reviews like this, and we'll see you next time.